Snow White, 2025. This movie was doomed before it even hit theaters. Too many executives meddled in the production, and the result was a bloated budget and a creative mess. They rewrote the story, removed the dwarves, and cast actors who became lightning rods for controversy with every single interview.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's
is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she.
Instead of generating buzz, Snow White made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Word of mouth was brutal, and audiences quickly decided it looked like a soulless remake. Compare that to Wicked, which faced its own backlash but still made $750 million worldwide. It's a proof that controversy alone doesn't sink a film. The real problem with Snow White was that it simply looked bad. If it had been decent, it might have done as well as The Little Mermaid, but instead it became the poster child for Disney's creative bankruptcy. It even became a trend that people were posting photos inside the cinemas with empty seats. That's the first time I've seen a trend like that for a freaking movie. A Disney movie even. Wish. 2023. This was supposed to be Disney's big 100th anniversary celebration, a love letter to a century of magic. But instead, Wish felt like the most corporate Disney movie ever made. Critics slammed it as soulless and algorithmic, with bland songs, a forgettable villain, and a story that could have been written by AI. Disney's real problem here is tunnel vision. They see a criticism like not enough diversity or too much romance and overcorrect to the point of breaking the wheel. They don't realize audiences want these things done well, not awkwardly forced in. Behind the scenes, reports suggest production was a nightmare of creative clashes, with animators and writers burning out or leaving. The final product reflected that chaos. Wish didn't just flop financially, it flopped spiritually, showing the world how far Disney had drifted from Walt's vision.
Whoa, what are you doing? Valentino, don't eat that!
It didn't work. When does the magic happen? Huh?
Oh, something's happened.
Mulan, 2020. Unlike other live-action remakes, which leaned heavily on nostalgia, Mulan was designed for one purpose: to please Chinese censors. That meant no Mushu, no Li Shang, no iconic songs. Basically, none of the elements that made the animated original beloved. Instead, Disney tried to make a serious war drama mixed with superhero elements. The timing couldn't have been worse. Released at the peak of the pandemic, theaters were closed, and Disney hid its Disney Plus numbers behind the paywall. On top of that, the movie faced political boycotts, cultural inaccuracies that offended Chinese audiences, and disappointment from fans of the original who felt betrayed. Mulan didn't just underperform. It proved Disney was willing to sacrifice storytelling for market access, and audiences weren't having it.
I'm Hua Mulan. Forgive me.
So that was a lie.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, 2017. No film divided fans quite like The Last Jedi, because on paper it made $1.3 billion. But what it took away from the Star Wars brand was priceless. Fans criticized the constant out-of-place humor, adapting the Marvel movie approach, the sidelining of Finn, the pointless Canto Bight subplot.
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
Let's go.
And the baffling decisions like Leia floating through space and Snoke being killed without explanation. Even more damaging was Luke Skywalker's portrayal. Turning the galaxy's greatest hero into a bitter hermit felt like a betrayal to millions of fans. Instead of building tension like Dunkirk, which it clearly tried to emulate, The Last Jedi buried itself in tonal whiplash and bad world building. And it was the moment the fan base cracked, and Disney never recovered that unity again. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, 2019. If The Last Jedi divided the fan base, The Rise of Skywalker buried it. J.J. Abrams returned to fix the franchise, but what he delivered was safe, hollow fan service. Palpatine's sudden return, Rey being his granddaughter, and endless fake-out deaths turned what should have been an epic conclusion to a sloppy patch job. The movie constantly contradicted itself. Chewie dies, then he's alive. C-3PO loses his memory, then gets it back. Kylo dies, then Rey brings him back. The Death Star wreckage magically survived being vaporized. Even the final battle felt like nothing was at stake. It was nostalgia manipulation with no soul. Fans left the theater satisfied for 20 minutes, only to realize later that the story was insulting to their intelligence.
Get me the Supreme Leader.
Yes, sir.
Tell him we found our spy.
It's payback time.
The Acolyte, 2024. Billed as the future of Star Wars on Disney+, The Acolyte became one of its biggest embarrassments. With a $180 million budget, it relied on endless exposition dumps and clunky dialogue instead of actual storytelling.
If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail.
Nani?
I guess I'll just die.
Characters felt shallow, mysteries dragged on without payoff, and entire plot lines fizzled out. Fans didn't reject it because it was woke. They rejected it because it was boring. And instead of listening, some cast members and defenders framed criticism as sexism or racism, which only poured gasoline on the fire. In the end, The Acolyte tanked in viewership and accelerated the exodus of Disney Plus subscribers. Lightyear, 2022. Pixar was supposed to be Disney's safety net, the studio that never missed. But Lightyear was a shocking stumble. Audiences were confused from the start. Why wasn't Tim Allen voicing Buzz? Why was this suddenly a different character than the toy they grew up with? Rumors swirled that Allen had been dropped for political reasons, even though he later clarified it was just a creative choice. Beyond the voice controversy, the movie itself felt rushed and overstuffed, with too many executives meddling in the story. Fans complained about cutting out Star Command lore and sidelining Buzz's iconic traits. With a $200 million budget and only $226 million worldwide gross, Lightyear was Pixar's first major failure under Disney. Proof that Disney is affecting everything around it for its failures.
Hey, listen, Socks, buddy, I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the rack.
Of course. I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise.
Strange World, 2022. If Lightyear was a Pixar stumble, Strange World was Disney Animation's outright collapse. With a $180 million budget, it barely scraped $73 million worldwide, losing nearly $200 million. Critics called it bland and messy, with a story that seemed to exist just for the sake of checking diversity boxes instead of telling something compelling. The animation style felt generic, the world building made no sense, and audiences simply didn't care. Even when Disney pushed representation as a selling point,
though we can't live like we did in the past, we've now given ourselves a better chance at a future.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
It fell flat because the film itself was weak. Representation isn't the problem here. The problem is bad storytelling. Strange World wasn't just a flop, it was a warning, because Disney could no longer rely on its animation division to deliver success. That's 8 minutes. Thank you for watching. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe for more flops.